Connect, or Continental Lodging Investment Conversations and Connections, if you want to do the longhand. So welcome. We've got a great guest joining us today, a good friend, David Bowman, EVP NewGen Advisory, Bowman Post Group. We're going to be talking about brokerage today, hotel brokerage in particular. We're also going to be talking about the Bowman Post Group Foundation. So a little bit of everything today, but can't wait. Let's bring David out now. David, how are you?
I'm great, Craig. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here, David. We've known each other since, let's see here. Danny Gevirtz, I think, was 21, and he's now 52. So it's been a couple of days. So
yeah, a couple of days.
It's really not that old, but yeah, we got to make fun of him a little bit. So
aging well, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're on the road. You're at a hotel. You are working deals all across the country. But before we get into that, David, would you please tell the audience about yourself, your company, and what you do, please?
Okay. Well, briefly, I started as a CPA years ago. I joined a hotel brokerage called Amber Hotel Company some time ago, and then I moved from Amber Hotel Company to NewGen Advisory, based out of Phoenix. My partner Andrew Post and I run the Southern California office. It's been an adventure. My background has really been something other than hospitality. I've been in hospitality now 25 years. I've enjoyed it. The people are extraordinary. I get to travel around a lot. I get to see some great hotels, and I get to put together deals. So it doesn't get much better than that.
Yes, it is good. Yeah, you're right. I love it. So being a hotel broker is certainly got its challenges right now, David. What in the world's happening in hotel brokerage across the country?
Well, the transaction volume isn't near what it was just a few years ago. The last 2 years have been challenging for lots of us. It's hard. There's a gap between what buyers want to pay and sellers want to sell for. Financing is tough. As everybody knows, the hospitality part of the commercial real estate market is the riskiest because the tenancy is a single night versus long-term lease that you get on other commercial properties like industrial, retail, office, etc. But we are still doing deals. SBA financing is being used by a lot of us to put together transactions. We find insurance costs. We have to, in the beginning, when I did this, when you went into contract, you immediately started working on financing and then franchise, if it was a franchise hotel. Now we have to start working insurance very early on because it is a bigger line item than it's ever been before on the P&L for hotels. And then the market's a little challenging. Foreign tourism is down for a variety of reasons. But still, I think it's the most glamorous part of the commercial real estate world. So many people want to buy a hotel still. I have friends that come to me and say, David, I sold my options or I got an inheritance. I want to buy a hotel from you. And I said, no, I'm not going to sell you a hotel. You're a friend. It's much more complicated than you think. It's not like it shows on TV and the movies. So I said, if you get a good management company, we can do a deal. But outside of that, I've grown to really appreciate what it takes to own and operate a hotel.
I couldn't agree with you more. Every cycle we get a new offering of people that thinks it's going to be sexy on a hotel, and it's not. You want to be cleaning up a room at 2 a.m. Luckily, both brands and lenders are going, you've got no practical experience. I don't care if you've got multifamily or student housing or something else. You've got no practical application in the hospitality sector. You have to have a management company. And, they take those steps, then, okay, let's talk. But if you think you're just going to come in here and start running things and charging credit cards, it's not going to happen. So, your lender needs to say no.
Well, and lenders do say no more often than not lately.
Yeah.
But the other part is just managing a transition. Even when you have experienced people on buyer and seller side, moving things from one owner to the next is a non-trivial task. And we're often on site in person working, the systems, the reservations, the staffing, the firing, the hiring of employees. We start weeks in advance to prepare for a closing to make it as smooth as possible.
Oh, absolutely. Your insurance commitments and, bank accounts, everything else. The franchisor is happy and now the franchisee can come in. So if it's a franchised hotel. What part of the country are you seeing the most activity in? I was looking at your website, getting prepped for the show. You've got listings all across the continental United States. So what part of the country are you seeing more activity than others?
It's funny. Most of my career, I've done work on the West Coast, primarily California. Starting about 10 years ago, we started doing things in other parts of the country. The Midwest, believe it or not, has been our most active market. The gap between buyer and seller isn't as high. The properties tend to cash flow, so they're easier to get financed. It's not quite as glamorous because I am from the Midwest. I grew up in Indiana, but those properties, month after month, you can put money in your pocket after you make your loan payment. That's not as possible in some of the high demand areas.
I agree with you on that. And, it doesn't surprise me it's the Midwest. If you look at My Place and Red Roof and various others, they seem to be doing really well in the middle of the country. I'm going to say the Southeast. With new constructions or brand conversions, and face it, right now, and you being a broker, you've got your finger on the pulse. So this brand conversions are the big thing right now. You got a PIP for $10 million, and you're going, okay, what's my return on investment on that? Wait a minute, so they start exploring other options. What are you seeing with brand conversions right now? Are a lot of your deals incorporating that as part of the deal, or is that something that maybe some of your owners that aren't selling are looking for some advice from you on?
It is a big part of it. The property improvement plans or PIPs have gotten more expensive than ever before. Cost of materials, cost of labor, to incorporate what a new brand wants to have done in a hotel can be a very expensive endeavor. And owners and buyers do need to sharpen their pencils to see if it's worth it. If they can get a higher ADR by a brand conversion that pays for the PIP. And it's not easy to get PIPs financed either. Some lenders will do that, others won't. So it's a, part of it as a hotel guest, as we all are from time to time, we have pretty high expectations of what we want in our hotel stay, and it's up to the hotels to deliver it. And if they don't deliver it, a competitor will. So it's a bit of a keep up race for the owners these days.
Yeah, it is. With deals and lenders, closings, challenges. What are some of the challenges right now that you're seeing with your lenders and insurance in particular that, how are you getting your deals closed? How are you meeting those challenges? Because insurance is astronomical right now.
It is. And I think working with a good insurance broker is important because they can source different insurance companies. It's amazing the difference you'll see in quotations from different insurance companies, the way they rate the risk at hotels. We see it across the board. You see it in residential as well as commercial. But it's a big part of hotel ownership because not only do you have the property, you have people, you have guests there, you have exposure in a lot of different ways. So it's important to have good coverage. And work with your broker on the add-ons. I had an industrial building years ago we couldn't afford earthquake, but we had earthquake sprinkler leakage damage. And we had an earthquake, and it broke the sprinkler system, and it triggered the policy. So there are little things. Building code upgrade is important, because if your building burns down and you want to build a new one, if you just insured for replacement costs, that's different than making sure that you meet the new building codes in that area. So a good, experienced hotel or insurance broker, I think, is an important part of the equation.
I agree with you. So that's going to slide us into due diligence, my friend and friends. So due diligence seems to have gotten more complicated, more cumbersome, more on a lot of different levels. What are you doing to help your clients with the due diligence side?
That's a really good question. I have a property in contract right now that's over 100 years old. Most of it has been beautifully restored by the current owner. Part of it is not. He didn't have the financing to finish off the last 27 rooms. It's important on the buyer side to bring in a good qualified property inspector to really see what's going on with the property. 100-year-old property, obviously there's going to be things that are going to come up in a property inspection report, and then it's up to buyer and seller and broker to figure out solutions to those items that come up in due diligence. You're also going to want to corroborate any numbers that you get from the seller. You get their numbers, but you should get STAR reports, you should get TOT reports, and you should get tax returns to make sure everything cross-references. And your lender is going to want that too. So it's very important to be thorough these days. You don't want to have it's hard enough making the transition from one owner to the next, let alone having the new owner encounter things that they didn't anticipate during due diligence.
On trends, what are you seeing? There's got to be some items that, no matter what part of the country you're in, that are now part of the SOP on the deal. What are you seeing out there?
Trends? Well, we see buyers still coming in and doing deals on very specific properties. So the trend we see is, and we advise buyers this way. We said, look, you may not like the price of a particular asset, but when things are really booming, it's hard to find inventory. And if you see an asset in a market in which you want to be in, and it's a franchise or type of property that you want, it may be high priced than you want to pay, but you have to have a longer term perspective. And that's what I think is important in this market. You're not going to be able to flip that hotel in a year or two or three at today's pricing.
Right.
But if you're in there for the 3 to 5 year plus time frame, I think you're going to be fine, because as you look at the construction pipeline, there's not enough new hotels being built. And sooner or later, the demand is going to increase, and the existing hotels will do better because it's going to be more, they're going to be able to increase their rates, which is one of the beautiful things about the hospitality market. You can do that. You can't do that in an apartment building or a retail space or an industrial space. You're locked in to a lease for probably multi-years. With a hotel, you can change your rate today, tomorrow, whatever you want.
Hey, later this afternoon. Hey, we got an event coming in.
Yeah, well, and there's no government price controls. We see that in California. My own daughter lives in a rent-controlled apartment in Santa Monica. She's one of the older tenants there, and she's paying less than half what a new tenant would pay. You don't get that with hotels. You have no rent control. You can charge whatever you want.
Exactly. Well, David, you being the professional and the broker that's got their finger on the pulse, what are you seeing in the financial markets? What are you hearing from not necessarily Wall Street, but community banks or even the bigger banks that that are still making these loans? Are they making you jump through hoops? Is it all getting to be more relationship based, and your buyer has got a great solid relationship with a lender? What's going on there?
Well, relationships are always important when it comes to lending. And quite often that's where a buyer does get their financing from a bank or lender that they've used before, where they have active business, they may have their accounts there. That would be the first place we would recommend that buyers go. Um, the larger banks are tough, at least that's what we've encountered. The smaller regional banks are more aggressive. There are regional banks that don't mind a larger percentage of their portfolio being in hospitality. We have relationships with a lot of those banks. We can guide buyers in that direction to make sure we can get the money that they need.
Nice. Love it. Hey, David, we're going to move away from the brokerage side now. Full disclosure, I'm on the board of Bowman Post Group Foundation. This is something that is very close to David, and he has picked up the baton to help our industry. So, David,
Yeah.
tell the audience, please, about the Bowman Post Group Foundation, if you would.
This is my passion project for my partner, Craig. You know that so well. I was president of California Lodging Industry Association a few years back. They had a scholarship program. We raised money for college scholarships for hospitality employees by conducting online auctions of hotel room night certificates. One of the close friends I have in the industry would never contribute room nights to those auctions. They had 12 hotels in their family. So, David, number one, I don't need that many college educated employees. Number two, how do I know they're going to stay in the industry? Number three, if they do, how do I know I'm going to have a chance at hiring them? He never donated a single room night to the first 7 auctions I conducted. So after serving my term on the board, I started a foundation with my partner. And the purpose of this foundation is not for scholarships, because there's a lot of great scholarship programs in our industry. This one is for the rank and file. This is for the housekeeper that cleans the room. These are the people that make it happen every day. So we've had 2 auctions so far. We've raised some money. We sent out some checks to people on the payroll of the different hotels that donated. The grant requests were, I need some money for my English lessons. I need some money for my child's school supplies. Another one, my father passed away and we need money to help with the cremation. Boom. We have control. We send a check. And we got some of the nicest, most touching emails in gratitude for what we were able to do. And it's very modest because we're very new doing this. What we really need are hotels to help us and donate room night certificates to us so we can put them in our auctions. We have 2 a year on a site called biddingforgood.com. They do auctions only for charities. We are a full 501c3 charity. Everything is tax deductible. We qualify to be in their auctions. Their site has raised $600 million for charities over the last 15 years. So we're a very, very small part of that. But it's great publicity for the hotel. It's great employee relations, because when we send out a check, we say this was made possible because your employer donated to our foundation. So it's just a win-win for everybody. The cost for the hotel is just housekeeping a room that would ordinarily stay empty because the certificates are subject to availability with blackout dates. Our next one starts November 20th, ends December 4th, just in time for people to bid, get their certificates before the holidays, and for us to get out some checks to the rank and file, to the people that make it happen every day at every hotel in this country, so that they have a little extra for the holidays.
How can the hoteliers help? What's the message you want to get out to an owner, a management company, on how they can help?
The message is, please support us. We made it as simple as possible. You need to tell us 2 things: the name of the hotel donating, and who should the bidder contact at the hotel if they are the highest bidder on the certificate. We do everything else. We'll prepare the certificates if they don't have their own. We conduct the auctions. We collect the money. We read all the grant requests. Incidentally, we have not turned down a single grant request yet. So it's really simple for the hotel owner. Just call us. bpgfoundation.com is our website. That's short for Bowman Post Group Foundation.com. If you want to see what the next auction looks like, put it .com /bid or /donate. But our website will have tabs. You can go in and donate. There's phone numbers, or just call me. Or Joanna Cuevas is our director of operations. She's doing a heck of a job. And all of us are doing this for free. Nobody gets paid to do our foundation work. So we're very reachable. I mean, we like to think we're almost everywhere. Just reach out to us. We'll put you in. We ask for a minimum of 4 certificates per hotel just to make it easier for us. Rather than do 1 certificate for 4 different hotels, we can do 4 for the same hotel. Great exposure. And this website we use, you'll get a lot of views. You get a lot of clicks. Even for the people that don't win the bid, you're going to get your name out there, and you're going to look good because you donated to a charity, to a foundation. And in this case, it benefits your own employees.
I love it. Your next auction goes live on November 11th, as I recall.
November 20th until December 4th. Yeah, we moved the date out. We got a little behind. Brokering, this is still how we feed our families. So that, we have to do that. My wife has this thing about shoes, so I have to sell a hotel once in a while. But the foundation has so much potential. I appreciate you letting me talk about it. I'm going to be on No Vacancy News with Glenn next Tuesday morning to talk about it more. And we're also looking for sponsors, for vendors to the industry. If you donate something for the auction, you're going to get a lot of publicity too. Like $500 off on your first $1,000 spent with us by a new customer. So we also auction those. Long pitch, but thank you for listening to me going on and on about our foundation work.
Hey, you're not done yet, my friend. It's time for our lightning round. Are you ready to play?
Sure. Tell me what I got to do.
All right, David, doctor, producer, director Suzanne is going to put 2 minutes on the clock. Word association, just the first thing that pops into your head, starting now. Favorite sport?
Baseball. What?
Risk.
Risk? Oh, my favorite risk? Going out with my family in public.
Team.
I'm a Dodger fan.
Social media.
I'm LinkedIn, and I try to like everything that you and Glenn do on LinkedIn.
Aisle or window?
Definitely aisles.
Favorite airline?
Southwest. Still.
There you go. Rewards points?
Southwest points. I use a lot.
Favorite musical group, solo artist, or band?
Oh, I'm an Eagles fan. I happen to know Timothy Schmidt of the Eagles. I love those guys.
Nice. Favorite restaurant in your fair city?
Inn of the Seventh Ray in Topanga Canyon.
Love it. Best vacation location, hotel or resort?
North coast of Hawaii.
Nice. You did that with 36 seconds left, my friend. Congratulations.
Right.
Oh, David, to wrap this up, would you please tell everybody how they can contact you about either selling their hotel or buying a hotel, and follow that up with the information on how people can reach out to the foundation, please?
Okay. As far as brokerage side, I'm going to give you my personal cell phone number. It's 818-667-0627. I do answer that phone. It's with me all the time, like most people. Same with the foundation. You can use that same number, or you can go to the website again, bpgfoundation.com. that'll guide you through everything that we're doing right now. And you'll actually see some pictures of us and quotes from recipients.
Nice. Love it. David, thanks for joining the conversation today. You got an open invitation to come back anytime you want. Please keep us up to date on what's going on with the foundation. And if you would like to write an article as long or as short as you want for the CLIC blog, we'd love to publish it for you.
Okay, I need to do that. You've invited me before, and I will, Craig. Thank you so much. And thank you for the work on our board. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, my friend. Take care. I'll see you soon. That's it. End of another show. Hey, David Bowman's a road warrior. He's out there. He's at hotels. He's moving, shaking, getting deals closed. So, give him a call and also ask him about the foundation, please. It means a lot to everybody. Let's help your team members. It's a great way to give back to our associates across the board. Appreciate you all. Thank you for joining us today. And as I'm fond of saying, be kind, share your knowledge, go be amazing.